Blessings, we're recording. Today is December 21st, 2020. It's a big day. I know that we have others who may join us, and I am so delighted to have, I think, gotten microphone work. We're having to do a turning mic thing to avoid echoes, but I think it's functioning. We have talked today about wanting to sit in periods of silence and then speak where we're at, about peace and strength. And I'm looking forward to that. And I want to turn off my mic for a bit, let others speak. I know Evan is not here for very long, but I thought how lovely for more of us to get to meet each other in a way different on Telegram Messenger. I'm really delighted by that today. Thank you for being here.
Looks like we've got a window to speak. Thank you for making space for us, Max. It's really nice to meet you all. I'm sure you both used to seeing me around Mara and Zach, but it's good to meet you in real life. Well, not in real life. It's funny, this is real life now, isn't it? Yeah, and happy solstice. I have got nothing to say except that my posters aren't sideways, my webcam is sideways. I forgot this was being recorded. So this goes down to posterity now. Evan's webcam is sideways. I'll mute myself again now, shall I?
I'm delighted to get your dog poster on recording. It gives necessary context for dogs.
Thank you.
Hello, it's good to see everybody. My name is Mara, and the first thing I thought of this morning when I came to Telegram and I saw your messages was I feel a shift. There's definitely some kind of shift, and I'm glad to be here today. I want to listen to what everyone is saying and talking about what's going on. I mean, I want to be involved. I want to do what I can. And I feel like that's a lot. I feel like I can do a lot. I'm grateful for everything I have today and where I am, my health, my health of my daughter, and I'm a safe, dry place to sleep and food to eat. You know, though I'm fasting, there's food here, and I'm grateful for that. And everyone should have that. All of these things are just human rights, and everyone should have them. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
I really agree. Zach, do you want to say anything?
I'm sure I can. First of all, I'd like to say that we can definitely certify that Evan is from across the pond. Now having heard her voice, it's a lovely accent. Yeah, I'm Zachary. I'm sure you guys have seen me floating around. Mara, I think we've had the chance to see each other before. Evan, this might be the first time that we've actually been on Zoom. It's a pleasure to meet everyone. Happy solstice. I have been spending pretty much the last 2 days just being very quiet, very still, and kind of cleaning up everything around the house, getting kind of everything in the position where I pretty much had nothing left to do but to sit around and be still. And I will agree that I think if there's anything that we can latch onto energetically about today is I think the key point is to leave the past where it is, and let us leave this age and its entirety and all of its structures, forms, ideas, and everything right where it is, and make a new one. So today we woke up into a new world, as we do every day, but this one just seems to be a little bit newer than the others. I stayed up last night trying to catch the conjunction, but the viewing was way southwest of me, so it was well below the horizon. But I hear this evening, I know I'm in a different area than you guys, but I believe that there will be an opportunity to view the conjunction this evening right after sunset. I wish everyone well, and I will be here listening and contributing in the meantime.
Thanks, Zach.
Oh, Evan, do you want to jump before I do?
To jump? Like to leave? Well, I can jump if you want, but I mean, like metaphorically, are we referring to me leaving?
Oh no, I know that you are leaving soon. I thought that you might want to say something, and there were two things that I wanted to say. But I also don't want to keep you because I am not tracking time particularly.
That's okay. I just wanted to mention, I'm sorry it was rude of me not to explain in that, like up front, I'm non-binary, so my pronouns are they, them. It's fine if you forget, because everybody forgets, but just so we're all up to speed on that. That was all really. Also, I'm really sorry some random person phoned me in the middle of this. It was just a random person trying to sell me something or get some money from me in some way. So I told them bye.
No need to apologize. We all find ourselves in sometimes chaotic environments. One thing that I wanted to say was if we all want to mention our pronouns, because I didn't think to do that earlier. I don't. My brain is really scrambling, knowing that Evan is hanging out shortly, and Michon is trying to join us, undergoing circumstance, and I'm going to check in with her in a moment. Do we want to go around and say pronouns? Mine are they, them, or she, her. Is good for me. I all tend to not mind if people scramble my pronouns and call me all kinds of things, but those are the main ones.
I'm she, her, and it's Mara, like Sarah.
Oh, I think we've done me, so I think it's just you now, Zach.
It's funny to me. I live in a sort of a non-attachment sort of mindset, so I often forget about labels and terms in respect to other people. So my apologies. But I respond to all forms of noise in my direction. But he or whatnot will work fine. Thank you. I do my best to be mindful of these things. However, I do bear some colonial programming, so bear with me.
Thanks, Zach. You're great.
I'm so proud of how I have been able to learn to remember to include things, and like points of inclusion where saying our pronouns helps people have a particular need for particular pronouns or to address it in a certain way. And I want to get better at saying my name when I'm talking for those who wouldn't be able to see video, who might just be listening and wonder who's talking. And there are a bunch of points like that I could not even hope to address just weeks and months ago, not very long at all. there was no hope of me doing that. And because we've been gathering my brain has really been able to improve that. So that's been really amazing. And thank you for engaging in these activities with me. It's so major healing for my physical body.
We very much appreciate you alive, well, and beaming.
I think on that note, I am going to love you all and leave you because I have things to do. But it's been really great to see you all, and I wish you the very best with the rest of this meeting and the rest of your solstice.
Thank you, Evan. Thank you for sharing some minutes with us, and talk to you soon on Telegram.
Brilliant. See you soon. Take care, everyone.
So I'm going to check on Michon now to make sure that we can report here from afar, if it's helpful. And there's also a piece of text that I want to read while we're wording for broadcast. Let me get that next. Okay, this is in slow motion, and this is an excellent opportunity for me to read this text. December 21st. December 21st, intuitive.pub/requests. Michon is now in immediate need of $1,500 for essential medication, without which he is in great pain, suffering, and danger. Please help us quickly gather funds to ensure her medicine by donating directly to paypal.me/the-Quill-Effect-Project. This link is at intuitive.pub/requests, where you can click it. And you can also find additional options at intuitive.pub/Michon. We are compiling details and action steps at intuitive.pub/requests/help/Michon. Please message t.me/Max Morris, that's me, or t.me/SpaceDogHelper, which are shared helping with questions. Thank you for copying, pasting, and amplifying this signal and reaching out to offer your assistance. You can find that text, those links, intuitive.pub/requests. This is another set of skills that I have been learning through striving to get my neurons to work to be able to share details and things. And for such a long time, my own circumstances have almost entirely prevented from being able to advocate for others in the network, which has been a horrible experience amidst other wonderful experiences that we've been having. And to have my neurology waking up now in these because of IPR activities, because I have been able to connect to caring and inclusive community. Like, I'm struggling through reading the thing, and it's really hard and painful for my brain, and it's amazing that I can do it. And it's amazing that we are creating opportunities for me and people like me to be able to do stuff like this. Blessings. we talked about today sharing silence together and speaking from wherever we are at about peace and strength. And there's part of me that feels it has to hang on and make sure things proceed in some kind of predictable way. I don't need to grip it so hard, is what I think, because it seems to be flowing. And I am noticing that I'm not checking notes. I'm letting more words come out, and I'm just connecting some memories where I didn't do that before. Zach asked how to find John's post to amplify it, and I added it to the chat, and I don't know if I typed it correctly, but I think I did. So if the links don't work, you can tell me, and I'll help correct it. It's 22 minutes after noon. I'm so glad to be here with you.
You as well. I need to become a little bit more familiar with the Google Documents and whatnot. Evan asked me yesterday or the day before about filling in on the spreadsheet in cases where they're unavailable. But I'll check out this this post here. And have we put it on the public IPR fan page yet?
No, that was my next thing, and then we had this. So anything that's on intuitive.pub/request or one of our public request pages, we're trying to make the text copy and paste as it is for each item, in the hopes that people will copy the latest item and post it everywhere that they have access to, in public and community mutual aid groups. And there are so many places where people really want to know what's happening and how to help. And so I think we're about there. It's been very hard for me to know whether I and we have been communicating well about that being a goal. I'm not, for me personally, I'm really not sure what's been happening with that. It's been an experience.
So if I could just comment on that, I would say, Max, that you are not just coming across and communicating, but you're consistent. And that consistency really helps for people that come in and out of the conversation. And without kind of realizing that you as an individual really are setting the model or examples to us, the people who are coming and willingly participating, as how best to communicate. And we see the ways that takes place. And even though perhaps my personal mental difficulty is not comparable, but it is neither greater than or less than. And in the seek to understand that, I think it comes across well. I think that we're communicating well, and I think I'm able to kind of catch the times too that maybe you're not able to communicate some things, like just for example this post. Perhaps you hadn't gotten around to putting that into the Facebook communications group yet, but that doesn't matter. But because I'm familiar with that, I have the opportunity to say, hey, have we done this yet? Is this something that we would like to post there? So I think we're all doing very well.
Yes, I agree. Max, you have been very consistent and just I have I have not. I have had some things happening and I'm, thinking about what's going on and not being able to be fully present. And when I come back, it's just, you just make me feel so welcome to be there and and that my voice will be heard anyway, even though I wasn't there for everything. I am going back and listening to everything and watching all the videos um, and I am a little technically challenged myself and in a lot of other ways too. Like, you know, hard to see, hard to hear, but I appreciate a chance to, to say what's on my mind and to listen to what's going on and see if I can help in any way. So and Zachary, it takes all of us, you know, you have skills and talents that, I don't, and all of us are like that. So I'm glad that we're all here, and yes, thank you for helping me and let me be in your midst. It's great. Thank you.
I will make sure that I say the only way that I have been able to, it's amazing nourishment for others to tell me that I'm communicating consistently, because it's very hard for me to determine that. But the reason I am able to show up with any kind of consistency, whether I'm aware of it or not, is because of people who have been here intimately, regardless of whether they have even been able to be reliable in any way. It's these intermittent connections and relationship building and collaboration and caring conversations with others that have allowed me to have enough brain function to operate any of this, the technology required to be pieced together and able to make words when I'm on camera here and I'm practicing a certain kind of presence, and then when I'm off camera, other things are happening that many people would not comprehend or believe because they've never been exposed to situations of continuing compounded severity. So my tremendous gratitude to anyone and everyone who has been able to show up for minutes here or there, because I could not do any of this if not for that. That's amazing.
It's too bad Evan has already gone, because I think that would be the next person that I would mention and thank. I think they've done a fantastic job. Honestly, for me, especially with the time difference, I mean, we pretty much have the day pretty much covered. So, at first, for a while there, I wasn't used to not being caught up with everything myself, but the work that Evan was able to do, I quickly got behind. And but it was okay because the room was full. And I believe, I think I've seen Eli recently as well. And so that's all very good, but I think that, a round of applause even though they're not here for Evan as well.
There are yet to be broadcast conversations about the history of Evan working with Intuitive Public Radio, and some really astonishing stuff that is also part of my experience of Intuitive Public Radio. And I'm feeling it's not the time yet to have those conversations, but gosh, they're coming. They've come up a number of times, and now we have a bunch of people who don't know about any of that. And I think we've already started some ways of talking about it, but the peace and strength conversations and the conversations around intuitive bridge are so much rooted in a time in my life a few years ago where particular levels of violence occurred, and when there was one else to act to ensure that I could be among the living, Evan showed up when there were zero others who showed, and that's a tiny little bit of a bunch of stories. So I think Evan likes to be gut, so I won't particularly alert them to our compliments, but it is important to me to say some of these things, that this is not the only time we've broached them.
I'm just really, tremendously grateful for all the various people that show up in the various ways.
Since Michon is not able to join us right now, and we're not sure what will happen there, I would really like to bring him more into this conversation, because so much that we have talked about and have been planning and working on that is deeply about this conversation. I would like to do that, and I'm not sure what order my brain cells will order them in. I would also really like, there's a Michon is here. I told him not to worry about microphone or camera, according to her parents. Michon, we just know we're safe. Since Michon hasn't been able to join us, I would to bring here and our conversations more into this space, and then dinged. So I'll keep talking and not assume anything. But I'm so grateful that Z was able to join us. Michon's did I say the page with Michon's information? intiv.pop/Michon. And Michon's pronouns are Z and here. And we the work that we have been doing on our platform at Intuitive Bridge has been producing some amazing nourishment. And that's another space where another time space where it's so challenging for me to track what we're doing. And I know that Z has circumstances that are not similar from that, when we are experiencing terrible pain and suffering and our bodies breaking for lack of inclusive resourcing. Functioning is this whole set of subjects that isn't addressed anywhere. Anyone isn't seeming to listen to voices of survivors at the most severe intersections, so anywhere doesn't learn what is most immediately necessary to learn to stop the damage that is being done. But we are doing this together in ways that don't seem to be occurring anywhere that I'm aware of, even in the very most nourishing and inclusive communities that I have found to connect to just a little bit, just to see how they're addressing this. What I have to do to participate, even in the most inclusive communities out there, really harms my body. But we do here sets up deadlines for us being able to participate and even being more or most fully functional, more functional we're used to being allowed to be, because it's expected that we show up with first the respect for our bodies and our environments and the way that we all interconnected. So we can't just set aside the suffering of someone that we care for and work with and want to collaborate with. And so that giving me options for showing up, and it's giving survivors in our network who have never been able to be shared or public, who aren't able to be part of very many groups because of what they're going through right now, that just having environments that prioritize this kind of violence, this kind of peacefulness, simultaneous to this kind of physical healing, embodied strength. I can't say the same discouraged things that I have been saying for years of experiencing the violence at these intersections, because I am so, it's so huge for my body that we've been able to create space like this even when we can't really remember what we're doing, and our efforts are punctuated by this terrible suffering. But what we have here now in terms of inclusive resourcing must be really closely examined, because there are opportunities that have yet to and are still now emerging. And I'm so lucky to be alive, because I'm alive on that basis. Intuitive Bridge has been about how we build bridges, how we bridge our emergent strength by collaborating intuitively and allowing space for very different kinds of languaging and very different kinds of experiencing. Also about different kinds of energetic diplomacy, where we do know the mysteries of living beings. That's part of being living beings. We don't know the things that we do know, and having a way interacting with one another that allows us to be strong and allows us to be fully peaceful together. Thank you for helping me make these words.
You're very welcome. And you mentioned other kinds of language, so it'd be about the time that I think we should talk about the language of what's occurring with Saturn and Jupiter in reference to both potential and wisdom, where, Saturn representing limitations, it really is a time of a lot of creativity. Everything has felt new in all the things that I've been working on, and I felt comfortable in a way where I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself for that creation, because it was clear that it was going to take time to evolve, and that the conditions that we were evolving through hadn't even entirely been presented yet. So now with this kind of declaration of of perhaps a much wiser and softer age, especially toned with better balances of, let's say, divine masculine and divine feminine energies, I think that we have these wisdom tools from our experiences that we're ready to use. And I feel very comfortable with this position and the alignment about moving forward on all these projects. I think that we've been very clear that we know the how, the why, and I think if we allow ourselves, just like a plant, the way that the very sensitive and brand new roots are able to push the very established and very old soil apart to make room for life. If we slowly creep every day, taking steps just slowly, just as they do, I think that with that wisdom, the wisdom of the way, or the Tao, I think that we will be fine.
The solstice was about 5 something, beyond in the hour of 5 a.m. Eastern this morning was the winter solstice. And then it's now 12:42, and at 13:19, I think it is correct, Jupiter and Saturn both are conjunct one another at 29 degrees, well, I don't remember the words, 29 and 9, 29 degrees and 9 feet, inches, points, marks, something like that. Seconds, I don't remember. And the cultural dialogue about it is so interesting from many different vantages, not excluding the places that don't believe in I don't know, believe astrology or Age of Aquarius or like all of this other stuff. People have very different experiences of these alignments, and we're all physical together. We're part of a container system. A container, and a container, and a container. And so we feel the movements in the container. So what are these bodies moving this way? There's just some tides in us that are about that. And so many people have different ways of understanding it. And talking about from the many different vantages has been such an amazing part of our coming together understandings and understanding one another's languages more. Michon writes in chat about the way, the Tao, was, I forget who mentioned that. Michon says, currently working out, actively listening and supporting your energy and truth. Thank you. Blessings. Zach put a photo. I don't even know if I have ever received a photo in Zoom before, which is interesting, but maybe I don't remember it. I'm going to click it.
It's just a photo where I'm sitting. I have a mandala on the wall behind my computer.
My computer is now beach balling, so I don't know what's happening exactly. I may be it has stopped beach balling.
So I found a shortcut and it's only half of it, but I mean, if I were to duck down, I mean, that's a picture of the image I was trying to share. So I was just trying to add humor to the Dow comment.
Thank for the thank you also for the opportunity for me to find out what happens when I click on a picture in Zoom. My technology has been striving through amazing. I am so proud of my relationship building with the intelligence in my technology that's been in friendship and community supporting me. The pieces of technology that were abandoned by others that I have somehow stitched together that are allowing me to connect to more human beings among other living beings. Blessings.
Bless all the things. Yes, all the blessings, all the things. Bless God. God bless.
My technology, I have lots of problem with my glasses, waiting on some new ones, and just all of those things you do with your background and things. That's like, oh, okay, that's really high tech. That's cool.
To be fair, when I was a kid, my mom was the kind of like ITT person who would answer the phone at like a commercial business to tell you how to use your Unix computer. So when I was about 5 or 6, I started programming in AS400 and BASIC and other kind of programming languages and stuff like that, which I have hence all forgot. But my particular timing of being on this earth appears to have somehow had some sort of extra ability to interact with technology. I find it otherwise completely unusable. And I appreciate when people have difficulty with it because I have no idea how I find it to work, but perhaps just the many times that I've rewired my brain back together, one of those times it helped. So
We have a really wonderful feel. Wow, that's amazing. I don't think I could feel that before, but so what I'm going to say is what I'm feeling, and it's very much about Saturn and Jupiter, all of this going on. I feel like I can really say we have kind of embodied tradition of intuitive technologist types showing up to do life-saving things in support community, in support specifically of bridging communications. Because bridging communications, the need at the beginning, where if there had been anyone available to listen to the severely affected, severely disabled people, to prioritize their communications, to help others understand them, there would not have been so violence, so many deaths that we have before and will again list. And to conceptualize technology as something that we are all using intuitively, and we're all using different, like very different technology, and that many of us have been gaslit thinking we don't have any technology ours. This is something that Michon has taught me a great deal about. I don't even know what I could say about it specifically in my body. Michon's work, there is so much of this for the inherent nature of mysterious technology, to be respected and to be bridged respectfully.
I definitely could jump all over this because I am a big, profound believer in the macro and micro relationships. And so to me, I always defect to the wiser doctor. So I had this conversation with a friend yesterday and I said, I trust my body. it is entirely more advanced than my thinking. First of all, it knows better. And thirdly, it's probably been around longer. I mean, I don't very well know how one walks around with atoms that have been around since the beginning of time and then calls themselves old or young at the same time. Like I just turned 35 this year, so I have declared myself to be brand new based on 7-year bone and tissue cycles. Because why would I want to feel any older than that? That's and ultimately these technologies are not just symbolic, but they're in relationships to where we have a compass and a map to examine anything. We could basically say, okay, tree branch, teach us how to build this network community. And if we look in the right manner, the emergent technology is there, mastered, established, like.
Awesome. Awesome. And in chat, Michon says, we are constructing a sort of metaphysical ephod, and I do not know the word ephod. And I wonder if someone can type more easily than Michon or I might bring up a definition. Because I love looking at the word, and I love the feeling that I think maybe I've never seen it before.
Oh, I'm very sure that you have heard it before, and you've heard people make crude versions of it. Everyone's heard of the iPad from Apple, the most occult branded piece of technology I've ever seen. The ephod is the breastplate of the priest, and it was laden in gold, and it had the stones, and it had various functions. There's a wonderful story, The Alchemist, one of the books that I've been passing around lately. And along the road, young Santiago runs into Melchizedek, the king of Salem. And Melchizedek gives him Uman and Thummim, which were the only divination tools allowed in the Judaic priesthood at a certain time. And this is a simple right-left kind of omen, warm, cold kind of thing. But these breastplates were actually pieces of technology that were able to access information databases. And I believe them, whether they were biofields or some kind of other technology. It still was as simple as gold and crystals being embedded into a plate. But this is what I'm saying about the idea of the symbolism to this ephod is your reference to the kind of technology. So each of us is a jewel or a crystal in this ephod. And actually the Zoom window itself actually is a physical representation of this compartmentalization or this kind of structuring where we each hit this button. And so we have constructed a metaphysical ephod.
I am full of delight. You're right. I think I probably have run across that word, but I do not have access to those neurons at all at this time, and I don't know that I would know the difference. Michon, thank you for mentioning it. Thank you for expounding on the subject.
I cannot take full credit for anything that I might say. I am actually accessing the information system that I described in that. So thank God.
Wow. Physical armor has been really important for me and others to access a recognition of our ability to exercise peace, full strength. And there are all of these times through violent experiences that I have raised my metaphysical armor when I was alone and just could barely do it. Could force my brain, try and do this thing. And it's so clear over time how out of isolation, having any way of interconnecting with mothers who have related understandings and wish to work in the same ways, how much that has it has amazingly strained my ability to recognize feeling of that interconnected, and the things we say to one another when we know they're all experiencing violence in some way, to differing degrees, but for most of people it's networked to be so severely that so many people would have no idea they even exist, that the things that are happening to them are even happening, for us to raise a kind of community of metaphysical evenness. Did I say it right?
I should actually begin everything I say by saying that I am self-taught and I have no idea how just about any of these things are actually properly pronounced. And so, to all due respect to all parties involved, I don't know. I'm doing my best to guess. I once taught myself Hebrew writing out of a book from the library, but someone ripped out the pages for verbs, so I didn't get very far.
It is now 12:57. My plan was to gather 40 minutes and move to Telegram. The way that events occurred, I just have not been able to close this session. I just really haven't wanted to. And we can consider this an apology or not, depending on preference. I know that before we go, I would love if it's all right with Mara, because I haven't gotten to talk with Mara as much recently. I would love to ask if there's any part of our projects that we could talk about, Mara, that haven't been brought into this conversation, if you want to.
Not at this time, just because there's so much going on right now that I really need to, I guess a session, a brainstorming session to determine the plan. I mean, I need help first. I need help before I can say what it is the project, which direction we're going with the project, I should say. And
we will talk more on Telegram and make sure that I am very moved and nourished by the projects that you and I have been talking about. So I want to make sure that I show up in support of them at every possible juncture. I know that I can tell anyone who's viewing this video or listening to this audio that we will be broadcasting about those projects at t.me/s/notesonfuge, which is the Telegram public broadcast channel that I and some others have the best access to. And I'm really excited. I know that others are excited also. There is excitement about how everything continues from here. It is very much a case of, as said, bless all the things. Bless all the things. Michon mentioned the tree house behind Mara. I also have been really enjoying the tree behind you, and I have what's the word? I have been meditating in a place of studying Lilith text and reading about the willow tree and the serpent and the Anzu bird and Lilith with her home there. And there's a lot of other resonance points I won't start listing, or I will just keep listing and listing and listing in all the best directions. I think if there's anyone else who would like to say anything before we close, please interrupt me. I would like to remind everyone tuning in to check in at intuitive.hub/requests every day, all the time. And please read the things and copy and paste them into social media and to emails and onto like spaces and say, I'm amplifying this for IPR. It's really important. Please take a closer look and support what they're doing. That's what we need others to in order to support our striving. And I'm so grateful to everyone who has been doing that. It is absolutely life-saving.
I did just want to say about this tapestry behind me that I love birds, and I admire birds, and I changed my name to Bird because they're so smart. They build their own houses, and yes, some humans can build houses, but not all of us yet. And so I feel birds are more evolved than humans, and we can really take a lesson from birds. And all humans deserve shelter.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you, each of you, for being here for this. Yeah, today started out really, really slow for me. So I am not hibernating, but moving at turtle pacing today. My dream was really my dreams affect me so much. It was really strange. And so I was spending a lot of time just digesting everything that had risen up from the collective unconscious and processing that. But this just being present for this and feeling your energy, it's helped to ground me back in the world, so to speak. So yeah, I just want to thank you for that and for doing this. And yes, all the blessings. And yes, everything is aligning, everything is connecting. Like I can feel the people that will be watching this, because of course, right, so I always say time is not linear. So even though it's the four of us here, all the people and things and energies that we're connected to and that we will be connected to are also right here. So it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. Um, and I cannot wait to have more conversations with you all, and to help in whatever ways I can, even if that's just lending my energy to these projects that you're building. Yes, yes. And our bodies, right? Um, with the birds and the building of homes, our bodies are our homes here, the homes for our souls, and we must take care of our nests and build them with beautiful things and meaningful things, personal meaningful things. I wonder, I wonder if birds visit each other's nests. um, hmm. Anyway, that's just a really beautiful, beautiful thought. And I never thought of birds in that way, but I will bring that into my being, and that'll be my new connection, my proper connection with the creatures of the air, because I am the air sign, so it makes sense.
Michon, when we sing, when we speak, when we express, we are resonating one another's bodies. Eli says we are touching when we share our voices. So whether or not we visit another's nests physically, we are visiting one another's nests physically. We are resonating. It's our radio. I saw Zach holding up a feather while Michon was talking. It seemed like a response to what he was saying. Oh, Zach, you want to say anything briefly?
Oh, I just wanted to be part of the bird club.
I think we're all part of the bird club. I am very much part of the bird club. I could start talking about the Mayan calendar, and I won't. Let Maris say something.
Oh, I was just going to say that I do know that there are some birds who lay their eggs in other birds' nests, so that they will be taken care of by that bird. And I thought about that a lot with foster care. You know, there are some adults who have children that don't have the capacity in whatever way to care for their young. And I just thought how smart of birds that is, you know, how smart that is of birds to do that. And, you know, who knows why. I mean, there are movies about birds that speculate as to why they do that. And but I just think, you know, maybe it's best, you know. I There's a lot I could say about that, but you know, um, with children being the future, like, you know, I became a teacher for a reason, because I really care about children, and I see how they are the future. I mean, I see how their environment shapes them. And um, and we as adults, as caretakers, it is our responsibility to make sure their environment is the best that it could be, the most peaceful it can be, the most um, you know, the healthiest it could be within our possibility, within our, you know, within our knowledge and skills. And we can always learn more, we can always be better, you know. And this shift that I feel, it's like people are realizing that the way we've been doing things is all wrong. Like, you know, we're, you know, going downhill, you know. And we there is a better way, you know. That peace is possible. I believe that. And I believe we just haven't had good models of it. You know, we haven't had um, practice. And yes, I think it's a basic right. One of the basic rights is to have peaceful existence. I mean, and we have forgotten how to do that. We have forgotten how to be peaceful, how to talk to people peacefully. And we assume that just because someone doesn't agree that they're mad at us, or we have to be against them or whatever. But we're all the same human family, and we don't see that very much. We don't see people embracing that, especially in this time. We have so much dividing us, so much. We have most of us are in our own houses by ourselves, and a lot of us are. And I mean, this is when we're by ourselves that we realize, wow, we are all really the same. We're the same. We all have the same needs. um, it's hard to see how we'll get there, you know, but this is a good start. People here, all of us here, and some of us know how to get the message out there, and uh, I just think people need to know that yes, there are people that believe that we can have peace, that everyone can have their needs met, that we have so much all together. We have so much. We have so much, we're throwing it away. And it's like there are people that need this, So this gift that we have, this connection that we have, this technology that we have that connects us all, like I really think it is just saying it to everyone. We have the capacity to talk to everyone at once. I mean, not everyone. There's some people that don't have the internet, but I don't know. It's like a puzzle. If we have the right words that we say at the right time to everyone, and people feel free enough to um, drop what they knew and to say, okay, well, nothing is the same, so let's give this a try. Nothing's the same with it. Nothing will ever be the same again, so let's try something better. I mean, I'm not sure how it will all happen, but I believe in it. I believe this is the start of it. So thank you for listening.
Okay, so before we go, because I would like to end as many of these with embodiment, with embodied practices as we can. So I think we should, you're right, take the bird idea and run with it, or fly with it, um, as it may be. So I just like to take a moment, just a minute, for us to imagine ourselves, yes, flying and singing our songs and communicating with each other in our nest to everyone, and that peace is possible. So yes, if you would please just take a moment to do that with me, I would love that. So just, of course, deep breaths, and we're breathing into our wings, spreading them as far as they will go. And if we are a flock of four. Yeah, some birds of a feather flocking together and flying all over the earth, to each continent and over all the oceans and the poles, and looking up into the sky, whether there's the sun or the stars, and paying attention to that little magnetic compass in our heads that lets us know what the directions are. So we are never lost. We are never lost together.
there is this wonderful sense for me of green and growing things and flowing water and thriving ecosystems and healthy, resilient soil, healed earth, stability reestablished in communities, and the sense of wings all amidst everything. As Michon said earlier in chat, these different kinds of being connected through our mycelial networks, the internet, or singing, these are, I'm scrambling Michon's words, singing in our tree houses to one another. And feeling these embodied connections restores the health of our environments so that we have refuge in places that are also people to us. And that feels to me like peaceful strength. It is 13:18 and a half. At 13:19, Jupiter conjunct Saturn is exact. We go flying. We're already flying.
So if I could leave with my last bit of wisdom, it will be with my family motto. So I am from the clan Hamilton of Ayrshire, Scotland. And I'm going to get out of the way for a second. Oh, maybe my chair too. But you can see our family motto is through. And today I'm actually wearing my family colors from Scotland. And hold on, I got to turn the background off here. But this is something that I likely will get tattooed on my body. But for a long time, I was unable to find my family tartan. And so it's a very basic, blue, green, and yellow pattern. But the majority of the Hamilton family that lives in the lowlands has a black and red tartan, like that other symbol. I'm actually from the group that's actually on Ayrshire, the island. And I actually got this imported from Scotland. It's probably the most expensive hoodie I've ever bought. But it is very dear to me. And in my understanding of the lesson, the best way is through it. These appearing obstacles are just part of you and your path. So as long as we proceed forward in faith, in of ourselves, in of the relationship that we have with the universe, we will just go through.
Thank you, Zach, for the family motto. Thank you, Mara, for the notes that you did share about refuge. I just realized as I said it from my mouth just now. Thank you for your notes on refuge. Michon, thank you for the embodiment practice, and thank you for, I know what it means for you to show up today on camera. I'm so grateful that we got to all share this time together. And if we all feel fully comfortable with me doing so, I will take this video in its wholeness and I will upload it places. Stop me if you want me to something. I move slowly enough. I think it will be possible to stop me. My intent now is to continue throughout the day any broadcasting that most fully supports my experience of peace and strength and all our ability to access peace and strength. And I invite all available others to co-host with me. We will be primarily broadcasting at t.me/s/intuitive-bridge on Telegram Messenger. Anyone who wishes to support us at the end of this video can navigate to intuitive.pub/bridge/support. And you can even say what kind of bucket you want your support to go in. We have mentioned a number of different concerns. Today is a holy day. Thank you all so much for being here with me. We will depart and then we will connect again in not long at all, it seems. Merry Yule, back to Zachary. A happy solstice to everyone. Gratitude and blessings.